Premiership on ITV. Sponsored by Coca-Cola.
He couldn't score in the World Cup, but he was top scorer in the Premiership. Would it be hooray for Henry at West Ham? El Hadji Diouf was a World Cup. Good evening. All the usual suspects for the title began with a win last week. Tonight we feature 3 of last season's top 4, including a thriller involving the champions. Andy and Ali are on the analysis bench. And before the games, football paid its respects with a minute's silence for Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman. Well, the Barclaycard Premiership action begins at Upton Park, where West Ham were out to prevent Arsenal achieving a 15th straight win, which would be a record in English football.
Another day, another record attempt. It's West Ham United's turn to take on the Premiership Invincibles. Paolo Di Canio is still home in Italy nursing a foot injury, but Freddie Kanouté returns to add some muscle to their attack. There's a reprieve for the defence that conceded 4 at Newcastle, so Gary Breen awaits his debut from the bench. This is the team that gained win number 14 last weekend when Ashley Coles was the name in the headlines. He's in direct opposition to namesake Joe today. No part for Gilberto Silva after an exhausting midweek trip to Brazil. There's no place like someone else's home for Arsenal. Last season they won at Anfield, Old Trafford and St James's en route to the title. But they didn't win here. West Ham's home record was just about as good as anyone's. David James is their captain today in the absence of Di Canio and Steve Lomas. Trevor Sinclair is his target. Defoe beaten to it by Vieira. Just in case you've lost your television bearings, the cameras have switched side at Upton Park for this season. You now have the same view as the fans at the back of that west stand. Glenn Roeder maintained his dignity and his determination during a difficult start to last season. Won a lot of admirers as well as an extended contract. The ball from Carrick to Kanouté. Looking to isolate Campbell on that side, but no way past Sol Campbell. Bergkamp. On towards Henry. Smooth Arsenal attack. Not the usual conclusion. Henry just wide of the mark. But they have slipped back into their rhythm. And Bergkamp and Henry in tandem spells trouble for anybody. Well, taking a bit of a chance with Kanouté. Campbell up towards Henry. He's shaken off Repka. He's got away from Schemmel. It's Thierry Henry and he forces a save from David James. Dennis Bergkamp was getting there, but such was Henry's pace that he outstripped the support. Took on West Ham almost single-handedly. And it needed the hands of David James to stop him. Winterburn. Defoe. Back to Daly. Sinclair in front of Keogh. Well, he is a scorer of spectacular goals, Trevor Sinclair. And only David Seaman's right hand upright denied him another there. Superbly struck volley by one England World Cup man, defeating another. James away from Keogh, it sat up invitingly and he couldn't turn down the invitation. Seaman may feel as if he just about had that covered. He was right by the post, but it was the post that came to his aid. And Trevor Sinclair very nearly adding to his library of wonderful solo goals. That's Defoe losing out. Winterburn recovering. Repka. West Ham trying to keep the heat on here. Good ball from Cisse. Good run from Schemmel. Cross back. Canute! Well, he had almost too much time. He took up a great position for the cutback. He did have time for another touch in actual fact, but he swung his right foot at that precise pass from Sebastian Schemmel, and it's still rising. Henry. Wiltord stepped away from Daly. Sylvain Wiltord. Well, that was very agile goalkeeping from a very big goalkeeper, David James. Shot off his line there and took the ball very cleanly off the toe of Sylvain Wiltord. Canute setting up Sinclair. Canute. Cisse is forward too. Ooh, he was looking for Defoe. Instead it's Cole. It's in! West Ham United's first goal of the new season comes against the reigning champions, and it's a beauty from Joe Cole. And Glenn Roeder's team have deserved it. They pulled Arsenal first one way and then the other. And Cole struck it sweetly beyond his England teammate, David Seaman. Arsenal's record run under threat, unbeaten in the Premiership in 2002. They trailed to a wonderfully taken goal by the left foot of Joe Cole, a goal which West Ham United's first half display thoroughly merited. At the interval, it's West Ham United 1, Arsenal 0. It's only the second time since January that anyone has even taken the lead against Arsenal in a Premiership game. We're going to find out a little more about the reigning champions during this second half, particularly if West Ham can maintain the momentum they found in the first. Michael Carrick looking to do just that. Tiptoed into some space and found Joe Cole again. Arsenal have been forced into changing one thing at half-time, and that's the look of their attack. A calf injury suffered by Dennis Bergkamp ushers Kanu forward for his seasonal debut. Cisse tidying up. Free kick given. Lauren's sprawling challenge on Sinclair. In towards Canute, defended by Vieira and then by Lauren. Wouldn't it be meant it? Cisse. Defoe. Cole. Schemmel. Oh, actually Cole caught him. His hand in his pocket. Done with some feeling, that, by Ashley Cole. Ball was long gone. Free kick to follow. Joe Cole to take. Header away by Sol Campbell. As far as Michael Carrick. Struck it against Edouard Cissé. Repka is there. West Ham have it back. Joe Cole to Jermaine Defoe. He's kept it in towards Kanouté! West Ham United 2, Arsenal 0. Freddy Kanouté within 8 minutes of the restart. But Jermaine Defoe just wouldn't give that up on the near side. Seemed to be running out of play. Defoe never believed that. Not only kept it in, but delivered the cross for Kanouté to beat Keown to the punch on the near post and double the West Ham United lead. And is this the day, the first day in 2002, that Arsenal suffer defeat in the Premiership? Daly, forward towards Kanouté again. This time Keown wins out. December 2001, Arsenal versus Newcastle, the last time Arsene Wenger's team suffered a league defeat. Question at half-time was West Ham, could they pick up where they left off? Indeed they could. Defoe runs into Vieira, who's been rather muted today. Kanu showed too much of it to carry. Here comes Joe Cole. Slid in towards Freddy Kanouté. Good save by Seaman. Kanouté denied a second goal in the space of 3 minutes. Another sweeping attack from West Ham United. Cutting ball from Joe Cole. Keown couldn't catch up, but Seaman's left hand just denied Frederick Kanouté. They are rampant at the moment. Vieira, dispossessed by his fellow countryman Cissé. Privately, he must be wondering what happens to this team when they leave their East End manor. So good at home, so disappointing away. It's not the problem that he has to face today. They've been excellent. Carrick. Winterburn. He'll be enjoying himself. He hasn't enjoyed a victory over Arsenal since leaving the club 2 years ago. This one isn't sealed just yet. Cole. Campbell wasn't buying the trick. Sinclair gets it back. Kanouté. Cole. Kanouté shot! Wonderful spell for West Ham. They are playing exhilarating football. So much fluency about them, but so many wonderful little individual cameos in the midst of it all. Cole and Kanouté combining that time. Bright minds on the same wavelength. And Arsenal are chasing shadows at times. Jermaine Pennant will replace Ray Parlour with half an hour or so to go. Won't be 20 until January. Pennant. He's played plenty of football for the England under-21s and has played in both the Worthington Cup and indeed the Champions League for Arsenal, but this is his Premiership bout. Vieira, Henry, Kanu. Good spin by Henry away from Daly. Terrific shot, wonderful goal. Arsenal back in business, and they can do that in the blink of an eye. Quiet, muted, disappointing for much of the afternoon, then bang, Thierry Henry comes to life. West Ham United's lead is halved with a marvellous individual goal by last season's Premiership leading goal scorer. And that will stand comparison with any of the 60 he's now scored for Arsenal in this league. Lauren. Good spin and run by Kanu. Got away from Bree momentarily, and here's Henry. Now the flag did go up. Poor assistant was struggling to keep up with the pace of that Arsenal attack, but he did raise his flag. Maybe it spared Henry a certain embarrassment, really. I'm not sure he was behind the ball. Just as well, in a sense, he didn't score. It wasn't offside. Keown's header has fallen for Defoe. Ashley Cole manages to see him off, but finds only Joe Cole. Good run by Joe Cole. On he goes. Penalty. Ashley Cole penalised. And Joe Cole has won West Ham United the chance to really reclaim the initiative in this game. And Ashley Cole, who was on the other side of a controversy last weekend, well, there was a bit of holding. He had a bit of a hack at Joe Cole of the ball, maybe just caught his right ankle, but it was a debatable one, no doubt about that. Ashley Cole looks peeved. Referee is making a note of a name or so. Vieira, in his role as captain, argues the case and gets a card. Well, what an irony. And Joe Cole and Lauren are now having a set-to on the edge of the penalty area. You can see what Arsenal feel of Joe Cole. They feel that he is guilty of exactly what some felt Ashley Cole was guilty of last weekend. Freddie Kanouté is the West Ham penalty taker. Seaman saves. It wasn't a very good penalty. It was a dribbler from Freddie Kanouté. The game remains in the balance. David Seaman quickly down, but not fully stretched by Frederick Kanouté. Was very late on Wiltor. It was a very reckless challenge by John Moncur. Keown and Campbell are in that posse on the edge of the box. Henry tosses it in there. Keown is free. Wouldn't quite come for Edu. Why? Thomas Repka. Keown found more space than he had any right to expect. Vieira, Touré, Vieira's cross, Wiltor, Keown and Campbell are still up there. Wiltor threads it into Kanu, looking to turn. Oh! Sylvain Wiltor for Arsenal, 2-2. Teed up by Kanu, the comeback is complete. And Arsenal still look unbeatable. Wiltor it was who fed Kanu and then never stopped running. On and on he went. Just picked his spot with the side of his foot. Lovely combination between the two of them. Kanu just minded the ball for him until he got there. Sylvain Wiltor, who scored a marvellous solo goal against Birmingham last weekend, scores a marvellous team goal here, and Arsenal have come from 2 down. Pennant. It's a teasing cross, and Breen couldn't deal with it. Toure almost did. Really good stop by David James. It was a wicked cross and a fabulous save. Breen couldn't get it away. Toure was first to it. That's what champions are made of. Title-toughened Arsenal come from 2 down and are still unbeaten in this Premiership calendar year. Their winning run has been stopped. West Ham United, the first team to live with them since February in a league game. A missed penalty away from beating Arsenal. But just at this moment, Arsenal are virtually unbeatable. Fabulous match. West Ham United 2, Arsenal 2. Are you now starting to believe that you may be unbeatable almost?
No, you know, there is no team unbeatable around in the world. You know, you're sometimes you can have a bad day like we had today. But the most important thing, as I always said, is once again today we showed that we are a team. You know, no matter we could have finished the game 2-1 by losing 2-1 or whatever. But at least at the end we showed that, come on, we cannot go back home just by getting beat just like that.
Your own performance you must be pleased with, apart from one kick.
Yeah. I'm a bit disappointed with the pen, but you know that's life. It's all right.
There's always a refereeing decision to talk about, I'm afraid, and we can have a look at that now. Rather ironic after all the headlines that Ashley Cole made last weekend.
But where you see that it can have indirect consequences, because I feel that there was nothing in there, and unfortunately when a player is in a spotlight like that for a whole week, sometimes it has subconscious consequences, and he got punished today for not having done a great deal of foul.
Well, it was a fabulous match, Andy. I expect the viewers at home thoroughly enjoyed that one. We probably won't see an awful lot better game in the whole Premiership this season.
No, great football from West Ham and some real grit and determination from the Arsenal.
Yeah. What was really the key for you as to why West Ham competed so well against probably the top team around at the moment?
Well, you either sit back and admire Arsenal play around you and play through, or you get in about them and try and affect them. And it took 10 minutes for West Ham to really realise that they were involved in a game. Look at Bergkamp in his customary position in the hole, feeding Henry there. Now, if you don't cut off that supply, eventually you're going to run into serious problems. But to West Ham's credit, they did that. Look at Christian Daly marking Bergkamp. From that moment onwards, everything that was fed into him, they got tight to him, snuffed it out. And that's infectious. It rubs off on all the other players around you. Again here, Lauren playing the ball into Ray Parlour in midfield. Look, Nigel Winterburn from left back, backed up by Daly. No Arsenal players in sight. They're setting about them, getting after them. As I say, you have to take a few chances playing like that, but it paid off for them. They were on top at this stage, and Trevor Sinclair came so close to breaking the deadlock. What a strike that is. David Seaman has actually let that go, thinking it's just going to miss the post. But they were really, really on top at that point and looking very good.
And of course, Bergkamp went off sooner or
He did
later,
at
didn't he,
half-time,
with an injury.
Yep.
Now, the West Ham first goal scored right on half-time, perfect timing for them.
Absolute perfect timing. Again, at this point, they were kind of rampant in the middle of midfield. No Arsenal players there at all, lots of West Ham bodies. There's Joe Cole at the top of the screen circled, and it's a terrific finish, Ali, isn't it?
Oh, they do ever so well. Look, I mean, I think the initial pass there's for Defoe, to be fair, but it comes in Cole, and it's a great left foot finish. I think Seaman's possibly a little bit unsighted, but it's a great bend with the left foot. And you're right, Andy, at that point, thoroughly deserved. Second goal's a wonderful goal. Bit of slackness here from Cole. And there's touch and go. A lot of people might have thought the ball was out there. Defoe does ever so well to keep it in. Whips a great early ball. You look at Canute, he's got two players to get in front of, Laurent and, of course, Keown. He gets in front of the two of them. keeps the ball down, and it's a great finish. But I have to say, Des, I just think initially when the cross comes in for Defoe, I think Keown's body position's wrong. Two things should happen there. Laurent should let him know that Canute's coming in front of him, but when the cross is coming in from there, the danger isn't really there. The danger's there, so he should open his body up, maybe about 45 degrees, aware of what's coming in front of him. To be fair, from a forward's point of view, Canute, he gets across the defender and keeps it down.
That was a great finish.
A great finish, but I think Keown should have been a bit sharper to see him coming.
Then we had the Arsenal comeback, which seemed unlikely for a long spell.
I mean, it was a case of whether West Ham were going to add to that at that point. They were absolutely so much on top, and then this happens, and you cannot cater for this. This is an outrageous goal, quite frankly. That is a magnificent strike. It gets better every time I see it. And if you think David James perhaps shouldn't be beaten from that sort of distance, have a look at it in real time, normal speed. It's just flown past him. Now, this was the penalty. I don't think this is a pen. I think 6 a dozen of one there. They're grappling with each other. And I think
you're just about to see why it's a pen. Here, watch. She catches Achilles.
No, but not for me, Ali. He's not trying to deliberately take him out there at all.
But he stops him, Andy. I think it's a Stonewall penalty.
Don't think deliberation matters very much, does it? I mean, it's if he catches the leg.
He catches his ankle, his Achilles, I think it's a pen. But
and that is 3-1. If that goes in, it's game, set and match. But 2 minutes from time, credit Arsenal here. They kept going. Will Tord, watch this now. He's got 10 or 15 yards to get in close connection with Kanu screening that ball on the edge of the box. Michael Carrick's screen should be now, not ball watching, getting around that ball. Schemmel, throw yourself at it. Anyone do something to smother that shot. Brilliant goal. Credit the champions for the way they kept going, but West Ham will feel they've thrown 2 points away.
I tell you what was interesting as well, when you see the penalty save, the reaction from Campbell. He jumps about 8 feet in the air. I mean, it means so much to him.
Great match. Hope you enjoyed it at home. Well, they went down together, and 16 years later, they came back again. Next, we'll see Birmingham and West Brom. Then it's Liverpool going for a second win against Southampton.
The Premiership on ITV, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
West Brom playing Leeds, but first Birmingham at home to Blackburn.
Come on, you City! Come on!
Excited.
Come on!
A bit apprehensive, a bit nervous. Everybody will say, OK, we'll be OK if we win.
St Andrews glowed after 16 years as the second city's dodgy supporting act. Birmingham can take themselves seriously again.
The only joke in this city, where's Claret?
Nearly 30,000 squeezed in for their Premier League home debut. So up for it. And if Birmingham are to succeed, a big factor will be that blue-blooded fan power.
This is an important place for us. We know that it's vital that we have some sort of decent home form, and their supporters can help us on that, of course.
The boss wanted noisy and intimidating. St Andrews obliged. Nobody expected anything at Arsenal last week. They did today. Birmingham's start crackled like the atmosphere. Stern John sent one wide. The other Trinidad striker had seen his every touch booed. Dwight York began his career at Aston Villa. He's rebuilding it at Blackburn. 13 minutes in, York scored his first Rovers goal. The blue balloon was punctured. For a spell, City was struggling in the new rarefied air. Damien Duff would have doubled the lead, but for Nico Vassen. Then the St Andrews roar returned. The first half ended with Birmingham finding their range. Brad Friedel denied Martin Granger. Bruce wanted more pace and invention. The second half supplied it, with Stern John at the sharp end. Yet the harder he tried, the more frustrated he became. On the hour, Rovers substitute Henning Berg bundled into the number 14. Dermot Gallagher said no penalty. 6 minutes later, John's header was top corner material, but Friedel is in the form of his career. And as he stood firm, York and Cole were getting back on telepathic terms. By the finish, Rovers had missed their fair share of chances. It'll be a bumpy ride. Birmingham believe they'll cope with a bit more luck.
They're special supporters here. They've been hungry for Premier League football for a long, long time, and they're going to make the most of it. And I think with their backing, he has a great chance of keeping his team in the league.
And certainly for Arm sitting as a penalty, and just at that time, the penalty or the great save what Brad Friedel's produced from Stern John again. We needed that little bounce of the ball and that break to get something out of it, but overall, I have to be delighted the way we've played.
So Birmingham tried and failed. Across the city, could West Bromwich Albion do any better on their return? Here's Matt Smith.
Thank you, Gabriel. You'd be forgiven around these parts for believing that a place in the Premiership is a bit like a bus, really. You wait 16 years and then two come along at once. Still, West Brom, like Birmingham, will know that to survive in the Premiership, you have to turn your home ground into something of a fortress. Of course, Leeds won't lie down here at the Hawthorns, but hey, this is the Premiership, this is the big time, and the Baggies are just glad to be part of it.
I just can't believe it. I never thought it'd happen in my lifetime.
I'm still in shock. I need to take medication to make myself feel happier. Fantastic.
For the first time in 16 years, I live overseas and I've come all the way back to just for this game, so it's pretty special.
You haven't waited 16 years for this, have you?
No.
But your mum might have done.
Mum has, yes.
What's it feel like to be back in the big time then?
Exciting.
So, the Baggies finally back in the big time. Your commentator for West Brom against Leeds is Guy Mowbray.
Dobie on the run, evaded one challenge and kept running, and the support here, and Leeds still haven't cleared, and it could be in, and it's slotted wide by Andy Johnson. What a chance that was. Bowyer, touch from Viduka, back towards Lee Bowyer. No time to cross, but he has managed to keep the ball. Now it's Mills. Mills left-footed. Oh, and Russell Holt just caught. Off the post it came. And finally the whistle goes. Offside from the rebound. It's Viduka bringing it clear for Leeds. Huell is up with him. Danny Mills is arriving. Bowyer's making a charge down the middle. Took a little touch for Huell! And Leeds United from one end to the other take the lead. This is Huell. Bowyer. Smith collects. Mills running outside. Flick back into Bowyer! Oh, that's special! That is a wonderful, wonderful Lee Bowyer goal. That was Gilchrist missing it. That's Bowyer centering. There's no flag, and it's Mark Viduka to make it 3. The points are in the bag for Leeds United. Just hanging back. Shot is blocked early. Here's a good chance, and there's a goal for West Bromwich Albion. Lee Marshall pulls one back on his home debut.
Early on, they threw everything at us, except the kitchen sink, as I said. And I've got to say, it was like a tidal wave coming, and they tried to intimidate us, not with anything other than pace and, you know, power in the air, and we had to stand up to it, and we withstood the storm.
I got the sense here today that the fans are loving being part of the big time. I would guess you are too.
Yeah, it's very difficult to say you're enjoying it when you're losing games, but you know, it's better being in this league, losing them, than the one we've just left.
Well, it seems easy to say that you must learn your lessons quickly if you are to survive among the elite of the Premiership, and yet it's nonetheless true for saying it. West Brom must take their chances up front, particularly at home, and simply cannot afford the sort of slip-ups that we saw against Leeds here at the back. Learn your lessons and learn them fast.
Any optimism for the Midland neighbours, Andy?
Well, there's a lot of games to go yet. It's only very early, but I can't see them getting much on their travels, either team. Don't see them scoring many points away from home. Home form then becomes crucial. At the moment, pointless. Confidence won't be draining yet, but if it goes into a 5-6 game run without getting too many points, then it will become a real slog for them, and I can see them both struggling.
Huge gulf, isn't there, between Division 1 and Premiership?
There's a massive gulf. There really is, you know. But both teams have a lot of honest pros in there, and you know, and they got to stick together and forget about everything going on around them, concentrate on their own jobs.
Now, Mr. Venable seems to have got the hang of it.
Well, I think you hit me on it. The key word's class. I mean, we knew Terry was a great coach and a great tactician, but the one thing that Terry will do, he'll get his players that will enjoy working for him.
Yeah.
And if you've got that, that's an added extra as well. That might actually be Terry's biggest problem this year, keeping all the players happy.
Yeah.
Because you look at the squad he's got, Robbie. Strikers are unbelievable. But I mean, they've started superbly well, and I really love the idea he's got a playing cool sort of through the middle, just off Viduka. I mean, he must have had 4 or 5 flicks. But the key word was class. The goals, Boyer's goal today was sensational. It really was a sensational goal. Maybe on a par with Henry's. He was safe, plays the ball in, another flick. That's a magnificent finish.
Yeah.
It really is. There's not a goalkeeper in the world with anywhere near that. And I think that's the difference. We're talking about West Brom. I thought they did OK at Old Trafford, and OK for an hour today.
Do you see this as a sort of training bench for future management?
Well, I don't know. I think discipline might be a problem.
I
have to be honest. I won't hide that issue.
There's a lot of people think you're heading for management, both of you. The ITV boss is one of them. Thank you, chaps. Liverpool had their best Premiership season last time, but of course for the Anfield fans, second is never good enough. Southampton were the first visitors of the new season. Commentary from John Champion.
Anfield opens for business with more hope and expectation than at any stage since Liverpool last lifted the Championship trophy. Much of the optimism stems from the arrival of Elhaj Diouf, a shining star at the World Cup. Last weekend he kept out Emile Heskey. This time Heskey replaces John Arne Riise on the left of midfield. Diouf finds himself up against one of his closest friends. Fabrice Fernandes was a teammate at Rennes. There's one change in the Southampton lineup. Jason Dodd injured his back in training yesterday. Paul Telfer takes his place. Liverpool's 12-year wait for the title would test the patience of a saint. And there are plenty of those here today. Southampton's record at Anfield, though, is miserable. 1 win from their last 23 visits. Maybe Diouf can add to that rather awful track record. He went to the hairdressers yesterday just to make sure he's looking his best for his home debut. How about some highlights for us over the next 90 minutes? Gerrard. First of the raking passes of the afternoon. Mistake by Telfer. Here's Emile Heskey. And Diouf has scored on his Anfield debut inside 3 minutes. Worth a smile, surely. What a start for Liverpool and for their new £10 million man. Gerrard's driven ball, Telfer's slip, Heskey's cross, and Diouf from point-blank range. The first return on a very significant investment. Elhaj Diouf, who lit up the World Cup, has now illuminated Anfield. Murphy. Off goes Owen, spinning away from Williams. And the referee has pulled play back for a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area, and there's going to be a card. Owen's progress wasn't halted, but it was hindered. First yellow card of the afternoon. Arman is taking quite a run at it, but it's going to be Murphy. And it hits the angle, and it's Owen, and it's 2-0, but the flag's up for offside. It's not 2, it's still 1. Glenn Turner, eagle-eyed. There's some set piece rattling against the angle of post and bar. And both Owen and Diouf are judged to be in offside positions and very definitely interfering with play. Gerrard to Diouf. Now Diouf is going to love Gerrard's passing range. And he's got the return, Steven Gerrard. Liverpool flowing freely. Shackles are off, no apparent inhibitions. Given away by Traore. Fernandes. Pahas. Anders Svensson. BT just got a touch. Sami Hyypiä looking across accusingly at the referee's assistant, but it was alert play from Beattie, who was onside. Pass. Idea was nice to thread it through to Beattie. Now Liverpool on the counter. Michael Owen. Diouf wants the return. The way that Owen shaped to shoot, was trying to curl it inside that upright. Never got it off the ground. Murphy. Diouf's found some space. Not as much as Heskey, though. Diouf and Owen in the centre. Corner. In by Gerrard. Owen. Happier! Telfer back on the line. Still the danger not totally away. Really doughty piece of defending by Southampton. Looked odds on that they would concede a second. Liverpool should be further in front. Elhaj Diouf introduced himself to Anfield with that third-minute goal. But Michael Owen's disallowed goal apart, there's been not too much to trouble the Southampton goalkeeper Paul Jones. Half-time at Anfield, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. Liverpool halfway to a 9th consecutive home win. But it was their failure to press home the advantage against the likes of Southampton, plus Bolton and Fulham last season, that cost them in the final analysis, as they finished 7 points behind Arsenal at the end of the season. Sami Hyppier's header. No changes to personnel on either side at half-time. And confirmation that Klaus Lundekvam was forced to leave the field shortly before the interval because of a hamstring injury for Southampton. Gerard Houllier arriving after the start of the second half. Parhards. Stooping was Happier. Distributing is Harman to Owen. 3 ahead of him in the red of Liverpool. Gerrard. Murphy. Throw by Xavier. Heskey. A new star of Anfield. Elhaj Diouf. My word, he doesn't hang about, does he? His first competitive appearance on this ground, and he scored both goals. Heskey's flick, converted by Diouf. And it means that Emile Heskey has set up both of the new signings' goals. This one with a prodigious leap. And to think, the one doubt about Diouf is that he's not reckoned to be a regular goal scorer. Gerard Houllier asking for still greater efforts from Emile Heskey. But he has 2 assists to his name from his position on the left side of midfield. And for a player whose position was thought to be under threat last week, that will be very heartening. Delap's made a run through the middle. Tessem. Now it is Rory Delap. And Joe Tessem deflected. Southampton's threat at best has been sporadic. That one came off Oncho. 4 Southampton players inside the 6-yard box. And the overhead, helped on by Tessem against the frame of the goal. Mikael Svensson, who had first bite at it, Tessem the second, and that's as close as Southampton have come to scoring. And I think it was Danny Murphy who managed to help the ball against the frame of the goal. Bridge, more promising for the Saints. Oh, Beattie was poised. And now it's Fabrice Fernandes. First touch took it away from goal. There have been better moments for Southampton these last 5 or 6 minutes. Hitting the post and also causing some moments of concern for Jerzy Dudek. Diouf. Now thoughts of a hat-trick in his mind, but he's played in Danny Murphy. Jones got a hand to it, and he was just then fortunate it didn't fall kindly for Emile Heskey. Diouf. Time for a trick or two, or three. And onside Emile Heskey. Chance here for Liverpool. Jones to the rescue again. Twice in a minute, first from Murphy, then from Heskey. Paul Jones really needs an outstanding game today because Southampton are due to complete the signing of the Finn Antti Niemi once he completes a medical. And by the time Southampton next are in Premiership action in midweek, Jones may well have lost his place. Anfield has seen 80 minutes of El Hadji Diouf, and they've already made a judgment. How about this for an ovation? Two goals and a bag of tricks. I don't think they just like him, they seem to love him. Vladimir Smica will play the last 10 minutes. Williams caught out by Smica. Here's Bruno Cheroux. It's a penalty. Conceded by the defender who Liverpool apparently so admire, Wayne Bridge. Liverpool's regular penalty taker, Michael Owen, has been substituted. So it's down to Danny Murphy. And it's 3-0. Job done.
Danny Murphy.
3 goals, 3 points to open the Anfield season. Anfield waiting to acclaim a 9th consecutive home win. The result never an issue for debate, only the margin of Liverpool's victory. And this ground of so many heroes has a new one to acclaim, El Hadji Diouf, who added a wild-card element to Liverpool's play. Danny Murphy's late penalty, Southampton never really at the races. It's finished Liverpool 3, Southampton 0.
He scored a couple of goals on his home debut, so obviously everyone's delighted for him. But as I say, time will tell. This season's a big season for all of us, not just him. If we can continue to create chances, I'm sure all the 3-4 forwards we've got will convert them. But everyone's pleased for him today because he's a good character and it's good to have about the place.
He apparently spent an hour having his highlights done yesterday afternoon. Is that typical of the modern-day footballer?
Well, I didn't know. Him and Abel Xavier probably go to the same place. But no, they are good characters. We've got a lot of good characters, and you need that to, you know, to have a successful team. And our objective this season is to make sure we continue getting results like that to win the Premiership.
Gordon, what do you take from today's performance?
Nothing. No points. That's sort of it. All that really matters when you play football is points that count. Points make you happy. Points make you satisfied. So if there's no points, you can't take nothing.
You always get honesty from Gordon. First time Liverpool have won their first 2 matches in 8 years. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It's astounding. Bordering on astounding.
I knew you'd be fascinated.
But I thought Southampton, you know, were neat and tidy without being threatening, and I thought Liverpool were a better team and deserved to win without being outstanding.
No doubt about the star of the day, who first came to prominence in the World Cup, as far as we were concerned.
As far as we were concerned, we first saw him really in the World Cup, and he came to most people's attention. I thought he had a good home debut, obviously took his goals well. He would see him against France, and a very good Senegal team against a very poor French team. But he goes by Leboeuf there and creates the only goal of the game for Diop, which was obviously a very, very famous victory for him.
The great shock, the opening shock of the World Cup.
It certainly was. Gerrard makes the first goal. What a ball this is again. Out to Heskey on the left-hand side, who doesn't take a good touch. Telfer loses his footing. Now this is what Heskey does well. Heads for the byline and whips a great ball across. in off his chest, but he won't care, believe me. They all count, and that's a good finish. Positioned himself well, but watch the ball here. We've seen this 100 times. That's magic. I have to say, I thought Heskey showed great discipline on the left-hand side today, Des. It's not a role. I'm not sure he'll like too much, but he showed great discipline. We see the goal again goes in.
Not handball there.
I don't think it's handball, Andy. I think you see it from our angle. He takes his chest. This is another good goal. Shows great bravery. He gets up well. Heskey again. Second goal he made, involved in both goals. He doesn't take his eye off the ball, Diouf, and shows great bravery to knock the header in. We'll see it from another angle. Defensively, it's a shocking goal to lose from a throw-in, Des. It really is. The ball comes in and we see it, and we're just going to stop it here. They've got two men doing nothing there. The front two men are doing nothing. I think it's Delap loses Heskey, who comes in between two players. Delap should be blocking his run at worst. But he comes on. He does go up well, but I mean, he shouldn't be doing that. And again, Diouf has drifted in behind the defender, in between the two, and a good finish. But this is what we're going to see. This is what we're looking forward to see. Flicks like that. I mean, the Anfield crowd will love that. That's a flick into Murphy, who runs on, puts the shot over the bar. Yeah, but I think he's got to be very happy with his home debut. And I think, judging by the reaction he gets from the support, there you see it, they're more than happy with his debut, and I think we'll see a lot more in the season.
Where does that leave Heskey as far as Liverpool are concerned? He played well today, but
he did do well.
Doesn't he expect to play in the front too? I see Diouf has got the number 9 shirt, incidentally, that Fowler used to wear.
I've noticed that. I don't think for a minute Heskey will be happy playing wide on the left. I think I prefer personally seeing him as an out-and-out striker running at people, but I think that might be a problem for Liverpool on the left-hand side. Of course, you've got Risa as well, who scored the winner against Villa.
If they win the league, Emile Heskey won't mind playing out there.
They'll all be happy.
But yeah, if they don't, he'll be fed up after a while to keep playing out on the left.
Now, if you have a health scare, you're supposed to take it fairly steady and fairly quiet, aren't you?
Well, if anyone thought that Gerard Houllier was going to take it easy, I mean, you watch this, look. You're all watching it intently. Look, Phil, sit down, Tomo, son, I'm back on my feet now. I'm going to get out there and sort it out. And when you've got the title to deliver after a lot of investment that's been made this summer, it's very difficult to stay calm. But it's good to see him back at full strength.
Indeed it is. Well, next, it's Kevin Keegan taking on his old club, Newcastle. Gung-ho football at its best. And there's plenty more games and plenty more goals.
You won't miss a trick.
That's good.
Team spirit is going to be vital.
Interesting.
OK, action from 6 more matches yet to come, including last night's cracker at Stamford Bridge. But we start at Main Road for Manchester City against Newcastle. You'll enjoy this one. Defending came second, and Peter Drury saw it.
Main Road re-embraces the big time at the start of its farewell season. 2 former England managers, of whom Kevin Keegan invites Manchester United legend Peter Schmeichel to make his City debut and brings in Darren Huckabee against former employers. And Bobby Robson recalls Gary Speed after injury for Hugo Viana and changes shape, requiring Aaron Hughes to make a third centre-half. Berkovic, Bernabia, Jensen. Clearance from Jermaine Jenas. Bernard's pass was telegraphed. Son Ji-hai was quickly onto it. Son Ji-hai, and Nelka a stud's length away. Compelling stuff this from Manchester City when they flow forward in numbers. Bernabia. Smashing ball for Huckabee, onside, good save. Delightful discovery of angles by Manchester City. They are playing some glorious football. Huckabee's run was ideally timed. Berkovic. Wright Phillips. Berkovic. Huckabee. Away by Davies, in goes Wright Phillips. And out for Lualua. Another beautifully worked series of passes. Manchester City have 4 forward. One of those is Huckabee. Bramble has stayed with him. Now Huckabee has wiggled away. Bernabia, Huckabee, oh, it's lovely. is such picturesque football that Manchester City are playing. A joy to behold, and Huckabee's been on the end of 2 or 3 good things. Solana. Davizas. Solana. Jenas. Dyer. Shearer. Speed! Might have got a little deflection, the drive from Gary Speed. Super start for Sir Bobby. Well into his 70th year. As bright and as bubbly pre-match as ever he was. Berkovic, that's clever. Sunji Hai. Up in the air by Davizas. And hook clear from Solana. Jensen. Boy! Oh, what a miss! Ideal delivery from Jensen. Somehow managed to miss a gaping target. Sunji Hai. Nifty little lob for an elbow. And all the way through to Jensen! Berkovic! Huckabee! My word, that's been coming. Main Road explodes back into the Premiership. Anelka's movement, Anelka's cross, Jensen advancing from left back. Given could only parry. Berkovic wanted it, Huckabee got it. Manchester City lead with 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Here's Lualua onside. Good save by Schmeichel. Oh, and he's turned it wide. Kieran Dyer has missed the unmissable. Schmeichel hurriedly off his line, but at that point committed and helpless, and only relieved to see Kieran Dyer somehow steer it the wrong side of the post. It is a head-in-hands moment. Look down, close your eyes, and it might not have happened. Jenas, Shearer, Solano one way, Lualua through the middle. Now. Jenas, Dyer. Good save by Schmeichel. Smothering Dyer's goal-bound effort. Huckabee, squeezing between two, away from Hughes. Still Darren Huckabee. Oh, it's a top-rate save from Shay Given. Really first-class piece of goalkeeping. Oh, given away by Distan to Dyer, and Kieran Dyer's in here, and has fluffed his lines again. Sylvain Distan's fluff was a fairly horrendous one. Dyer had had an equally horrendous one in front of goal in the first half, faced with big Peter Schmeichel. He went the wrong side of the bar. Howie, Benarbia, 4-on-3 for Manchester City. Berkovic is one of those. Here's Wright Phillips. Oh! Wright Phillips arriving at full tilt blindside. And fair thumping, from his point of view, the wrong side of the side netting. Wright Phillips nicked it away from Griffin. Berkovic. Anelka. Good low plunge from Given. On a pitch which will test goalkeepers with a bit of zip and grease, all picking up pace. Given did well to get behind it. Lualua. Oh, lovely feet from Lualua, and a good smother by Schmeichel, and behind by Foe. Newcastle have found openings, particularly second-half openings, relatively scarce. Dyer. Newcastle chasing it now with everything they have. Jenas, let it run for Shearer! Deflected wide. Not by Fowen. Came to Viana. Jenas. Dyer! Oh, good save! 38 years young. With the spring of a lamb in springtime. Peter Schmeichel. And Sir Bobby Robson doesn't want to look at what is turning into his first defeat of the Premiership season. Manchester City and Kevin Keegan are off their Premiership mark. One silver-haired former national boss has put one over the other. One Darren Huckabee goal is a mere fraction of what they might have had in a thrilling first half. Schmeichel has a winning debut, and if you have a few spare quid and a few spare Saturday afternoons, then on the basis of the entertainment we've had here today, a Manchester City season ticket would be a very good investment. They've won their first home game by 1-0.
I think Man City, on that evidence and that performance, will do very well, and no danger of them getting relegated. They'll be a good side here, and they'll be difficult to beat here.
Yeah, the 3 points were vital today. You know, I mean, played very well at Leeds last week and come away with what looked like an hammering 3-0. It was very important we got something on the board, and the only thing that you can say is we've beaten a very, very good side here today, one that's going to play in the Champions League, I think, and one that'll do very well in there, and we deservedly beat them.
What do you say to Kieran, lovely player who's just had 2 horrible moments in that game?
Well, I just said, hey, Jimmy, I play with Jimmy Greaves. He missed thousands, but he scored thousands, and that's the trick. Don't be afraid to have the courage to go in again, and if it means missing again, miss it, because you won't always miss. So he'll keep his head up, and he'll start getting in.
Zenden to fire in the first free kick of the game. Touched in towards Gallas, and Chelsea are in front already. And all the way across to David Beckham. He's just got some space away from Babayaro. Having a go with his left. Different foot, familiar outcome for the England captain. Silvestre barring the way. Lampard. Went down under the challenge, Zenden comes away, and that is a cracker. Keane. Paul Scholes has got goal side of Desai. Scholes goes down, penalty surely, and Graham Paul says no. A lucky, lucky escape for Chelsea. Silvestre pursued by De Lucas and shrugging off the Spaniard. This is Giggs! Brings his team level and brings up his century of Manchester United goals.
Well, that, of course, was United last night. But what about City today? They played some wonderful football, didn't they?
Honestly, God, that first half, City were outstanding. Darren Huckabee, that must have been the performance of life. I couldn't believe I was watching the same team as last week. I felt last week they performed well, but weren't really a threat. They had a couple of shots from outside the box. We hit the woodwork. First half today. Yeah. What a difference in the side, and they thoroughly deserved it. Huckabee was outstanding.
He's like a speedboat with no driver, Darren Huckabee. No, he is, because you're never quite sure of what he's going to do, but he can devastate everything around him, destroy everything. Honestly, he's sensational today.
Is it naive to think that... is it naive?
I know, I've never heard that one before myself.
It's a good one, that, and you will store that down. Is it naive to think that Kevin Keegan cares less about defence than all the other managers and coaches? I mean, does he just say, you know, just away you go, attack?
No, I'll not think like that, because Kevin's an intelligent man and good coach. I mean, for example, today sitting on Horlock to sit in front of the back four midfield and defend that 1-0 lead that they had. No, far from it. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind a Lincoln season ticket for Main Road this season, because that was magic today. But Kevin obviously cares about defence, because he knows if they want to stay up, they're going to have to defend.
Yeah.
And I like Benabia. He looks a good player.
And it's just, can you accommodate him and Berkovic? That's the thing. I think Benabia, the way he just slots people in is fantastic. Pretty to watch.
Great to watch. 4 games still to come, including a tremendous fight back and the goalkeeper, who had quite a day. Right, 4 more games for you now, starting at Middlesbrough, where Fulham were hoping to continue their good start.
On this showing, the £8 million Steve McClaren splashed on Massimo Maccarone looks money well spent. There'll be no defensive lapses allowed when the Italian's around. Andy Melville at fault for Borough's first half opener. And the record signing from Empoli looked every bit as lively again as he extended the lead 5 minutes after the break. Jonathan Greening's cross powered in. Borough seemed to be cruising. If Maccarone had made it the perfect home debut, they would have been. The 22-year-old twice missed out on a hat-trick. First his own fault, a rampaging run which fell apart at the finish. But then some credit to Edwin van der Sar, sharp to fend off a well-struck snapshot. Maybe Borough have finally found the cutting edge they've been craving, in which case it would be best not to fall apart at the back. Fulham, who rarely worried them, surely thought Sean Davis's last-minute goal was merely a consolation. But just 48 seconds later, the home side imploded. Facundo Sava ecstatic to take advantage for an unexpected point. Steve McClaren left in shock.
We had the game won, scored 2. I was disappointed we didn't go and score 3 or 4, which would have really sewn the game up. But Fulham are always a dangerous team.
Charlton surrendered a 2-0 lead last week. This time they were behind within 2 minutes. Paul Werhurst let fly with a shot that Dean Kiley did well even to see, but Yuri Djorkaeff had watched it all the way. A combination of Bolton personnel conspired to bundle Richard Rufus to the floor and via the spot kick offer Charlton a way back. Although up in the stand, Big Sam felt there was a conspiracy against him. Chris Bart-Williams it was that stepped up to take the kick. Charlton's first successful penalty in 5 attempts. Industry and enterprise had characterised both sides' approach in the first period. There was to be little change to that in the second. But Graham Stewart's penetrative run into the box proved decisive when he found Jason Ewell in space. The only pity was that Stewart twisted his knee in the process and had to be stretchered off. It was backs to the wall type stuff for Charlton for the remainder of the game, and it may prove to be just that for Bolton from here on in.
We had a great home record this time last year. We've got a crap away record and a very, very poor home record already. So we have to put that right next game against Aston Villa.
Added resonance to the minute's silence at Sunderland, a club mourning the cot death of Jake Craddock, son of defender Jody. Richard Wright's form was the talking point of the match from the moment the Everton keeper blocked Kevin Phillips' early effort and got some help from the bar. After last week's blunder, this was the stopper's lucky day, and Everton's, ahead against a run of play when Thomas Radzinski set up Kevin Campbell. That could so easily have counted for nothing. In the second half, Wright badly misjudged Claudio Reyna's free kick. An offside flag was the distraction, apparently, and spared his blushes. Then from a corner, referee Rob Stiles spotted a penalty. All eyes on Wright again for a push on Niall Quinn. It threatened to throw away the points, but proved to be a chance to shine. Fantastic save. Kevin Phillips denied from the spot for the 4th time in a row. Sunderland must still be wondering how they failed to rescue a draw. Quinn's late effort summed up their afternoon. Wright a winner and stressing the positives.
Things didn't go well for me last week and had to make a save early on from Kevin Phillips. I think hit me on the stomach, and fortunately enough he missed the rebound, but that helps you and helps you move on into the game, and I was very pleased with the way the game went.
No points, no goals, but Graham Taylor won't hear of turmoil. The Villa Park exodus looks set to go on. Indeed, it's upon the old hands such as Lee Hendry that Villa seem reliant. Despite their domination, Villa went in a goal behind after Peter Enkelman stayed down hurt. Tottenham's home debutant, punishing him further still. A collision with a defender appeared to be the cause of Enkelman's collapse. Jamie Redknapp then facilitating Villa's. Allback and Angel joined Darius Vassell for the second half as Villa threw 3 up front in desperation. But it wasn't to prove Villa's day. Again.
People have said that I look like a Tottenham player, and I don't know what a Tottenham player looks like, but if I'm scoring the goals and playing okay, that will do for me.
For all the latest information, log on to itv.com/Premiership, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Well, we've had 2 Saturdays. High time to pick the champions for this year. Andy, who do you fancy?
I wouldn't bet against Manchester United at this stage of the season, Des. Still think they are the team to beat.
Okay. Ali?
I'm still struggling to come to terms with your Poland could be a dark horse for the World Cup routine. But having said that, I'm going to go for Arsenal, Des, if that's all right.
That's absolutely fine. You might recall I did pick Brazil to win it. Whereas I think you probably picked France, did you? Or something like that. Thank you very much, chaps. There we are. Now, the table, as it looks after this second Saturday, Leeds move to the top of the Barclaycard Premiership on goal difference from Liverpool. They're the only clubs with a 100% record after 2 games. Bolton, who won their opening 3 games last season, are winless after their first 2 of this campaign. The 3 Birmingham clubs, City, West Brom and Aston Villa, are all without a point as well. Not a very good start for them. Well, if you missed anything, the action is on again tomorrow morning at 9:25. And then on Wednesday, there's a special edition of the Premiership featuring the current leaders, Leeds United. Well, Arsenal have got 0-2 on their shirts. For a good while today, they were 0-2 to West Ham.